I'm going to take the elements I made from the episode 3 chocolate technique test and make a brownie ice cream sundae. I'm going to be making a custard base ice cream, which means a lot of egg yolks, sugar, cream, milk, and salt. Take your egg yolks and whip them up in a heat-safe bowl. Pour your other ingredients into a saucepan and stir until the sugar dissolves, about 5 minutes. Once the sugar has fully dissolved in the milk, we're going to slowly pour some of that heated up milk and sugar mix into our eggs to bring the egg yolks up to temperature so they don't turn into scrambled eggs when the two get mixed together. This is called tempering the eggs. To temper the egg yolks, just take the milk and slowly pour about 2/3 of it into your egg yolks while whisking. Once they're tempered, you're gonna pour the eggs and milk right back into the saucepan. That saucepan goes back onto the stove top over medium heat until the mixture coats the back of a wooden spoon. Now just pour that custard mixture through a strainer to get any clumps that might have formed and refrigerate the mix for at least 4 hours or overnight before pouring it into your ice cream machine. Fun fact, when I registered for an ice cream maker during the wedding registry process, my husband was very incredulous about how often are we really going to use an ice cream maker. To which I brought up the fact that he insisted on registering for a soy milk maker, which in the 5 years we've been married, he's only sort of used once and didn't even get to the end of the process. So I rub that in his face constantly. The brownie I'm making is extra fudgy and pretty quick to throw together. Mix your butter, sugar, cocoa powder, and salt in a heat-proof bowl and place it over a pot of hot water. Stir until the butter is melted and make sure the mix is warm and not hot before adding in your eggs. Remove from the stove and add your vanilla and eggs. When everything looks nice and shiny, add in your flour. Once your flour is fully incorporated, you are going to take an 8x8 inch pan that's been greased and a piece of parchment laying over it with a little bit of an overhang. This is going to make it really easy to pull those brownies out once you're completely done. My brownies are in the oven, my ice cream is in the ice cream machine churning. You know, this dish doesn't really have as many elements in it as the team challenge. I'm really missing a lot of components that Andrew did. I wonder who that could be. Hey!
Hi, Casey.
What are you doing here?
You dropped these.
Funny. You want to come in and bake?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
We're going to be making a cherry coulis like we did in our brownie cake from episode 3. We're going to need cherries, sugar, and cornstarch. We're going to add the cherries to our saucepan here, and they've got to heat up and start to break down. If you try to make a puree before the cherries have heated up and broken down, they're not soft enough. They're going to be too firm and too fibrous to make a really good puree. You want them to be soft enough that we're going to be able to mix it up with the sugar and then force it all through a sieve. Now that we've cooked the cherries, they've broken down, they've released their juices, we're going to put it all in this blender and we're going to puree it.
Will it blend? And always remember to put the lid on your blender, otherwise it will go everywhere.
That looks like a nice puree. We've pureed up the cherries. Now we're going to heat them back up and sweeten up the mix. We're going to add some sugar, mix it in, and bring it up to a low simmer. Now, I've always been a fan of 80s and 90s metal, but I never thought I'd be bringing together cherry pie and pour some sugar on me in the same recipe.
I like that one. I like that one.
You know the songs I'm talking about?
Yes, I know the songs you're talking about.
Just checking. We've got a strainer here with some cheesecloth over it. That's going to help give us a fine texture. Chocolate ganache is an essential skill for any baker, and ganache is all about the ratios. So if you have more chocolate and less cream, you're going to have a more solid ganache that can be used as a frosting or a filling. This is going to be a more fluid ganache with equal amounts of chocolate and cream. For making chocolate ganache, we're going to need heavy cream And we've got some chocolate chips here. What we're gonna do is heat up this cream, and then when it's nice and hot, we're gonna pour it over the chocolate so it all melts together. Now we've given a few minutes for the cream to soften up the chocolate. We're going to mix it up with a spatula, and you can see how much the chocolate has softened up just from sitting with the cream. I sometimes like to say that ganache is a fancy term for chocolate sauce.
So we have all of our items for our dish. We have our brownie, our chocolate ganache, our cherry coulis, and our dreaded panned items, although a little bit, you know, painless this time.
I don't dread a part of any delicious dessert, but there's nothing wrong with buying chocolate-coated nuts or anything else that's like a panned item from your local store.
I mean, it's essentially like buying sprinkles.
Absolutely. So the cherry coulis, which is now cooled and thickened somewhat, is going on the bottom.
Right, and then of course we have this delicious fudgy brownie. Okay, and now of course we need our ice cream.
Yes, we do.
All right, what's up next?
I'm going to drizzle some of the chocolate ganache, which has cooled, and it's thickened up a little bit since we had it over the stove.
And then of course we have our panned items.
And just one more panned item right there.
Oh, that looks so pretty. I bet it tastes good too.
I bet it does. When do we get to eat?
Right now. There you go.
Thank you.
Right.
Please do the honors.
Okay, I'm gonna get some of that ice cream, make sure to get some of that cherry. That's really good. Yeah.
Do you think I have to go home after we're done with this?
I mean, but like, yeah, though, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.